Here are 7 negative consequences of having an epiphany that no one warns you about. Your monotony sets in. It's not uncommon for a spiritual awakening to seem like entering a parallel universe. Sometimes the individuals in your life won't be able to adapt to your new reality. They will tell you that you've gotten dull. The previous you was beloved by them, the one that was always out having fun and never missed a good time. You'd rather sit beneath a tree and contemplate life's mysteries rather than go out and socialize. Sure, you keep trying to fit the old patterns. You still frequent watering holes. However, I no longer feel comfortable with this. You no longer find any depth in the talks that used to make you giggly. You feel like your former hangouts are sucking the life out of you today. It's like putting on an outfit from when you were a kid. The two are incompatible. What happened to the gregarious, enthusiastic person you used to be? You are, in a word, developing. You're tuning into a more inside aspect of yourself, one that craves significance, community, and depth beyond what the ego can provide. While this shift may feel like a setback at first, it is actually an indicator of progress. Your spirit wants you to focus on what will make you happy in the long run, not simply the short term. So, does this make you dull? That, of course, is a matter of perspective. Some people may find you less intriguing if they think that exciting implies continually seeking the next great adventure. But you have to ask, isn't it thrilling to finally get to know the real you? About making meaningful relationships with others and the world. About discovering inner calm that a night on the town can't compare to. The fact is that some people find boredom extremely significant. People close to you who have seen a shift may not fully appreciate where you are in your life right now. But that's fine too. Each of us is traveling a unique course. Sometimes the two ways part ways. It's possible that you'll meet some interesting new people who share your passions and won't find your talks about personal growth and enlightenment tedious. There has been no identity crisis. You are only revealing another aspect of your complex self. Just like when you lost your old skin, your true self will emerge. You should give this updated you the respect you deserve. If other people don't understand, your own uncertainty will just increase. The spiritual awakening process is like riding a roller coaster. You feel like you've finally figured things out, and then suddenly everything falls apart. It's thrilling to have found such wonderful folks who get you and are on the same road. But then you hit a low, and that's when the doubt starts to seep in and make you question everything. You begin to be inundated with inquiries. Just who am I anyway? To what end am I living? Why am I even here? These are weighty concerns, my friend, and they might cause you to rethink all you've accomplished up to that point. It's possible that you're considering reverting to your former methods just out of a need for familiarity. But when you put up the effort, you uncover a surprising fact. You are now too big for that space. You've changed a lot, yet you still don't feel comfortable in your new skin. It's as if you're caught between two different realities, with no real connection to either. Learn why doubt isn't your sworn enemy in this article. It demonstrates that you are thinking deeply about the issues at hand. When you have doubts, it compels you to learn more. You can't develop without it. How else might one find out what speaks to their hearts? While uncertainty may feel like a weight, it really serves as a valuable resource for learning and growth. It's possible you're questioning how far you've come. Remember, though, that development isn't necessarily a straight line. It's normal to take 2 steps forward and 1 step back occasionally. Every setback is an opportunity to assess, realign, and re-emerge more formidable than before. So, if you find yourself questioning everything once more, accept it as a natural part of the process. Use this time to reflect on your values, make course corrections, and grow as a person. Discuss it with other people of faith. Seek for mentors or read books that will push and motivate you. But don't let uncertainty lead you to give up or accept an outdated version of yourself. Now you may be wondering why I feel so unclear about everything, since awakening is supposed to be about gaining peace and understanding. Because having all the answers isn't what great wisdom is about. The key is imposing the appropriate inquiries. You're here for a reason, and I want you to know that the questions you're asking are among the most vital anybody has ever asked. Never allow self-doubt get in your way. Allow it to make you stronger. Use it to develop empathy, a sense of humility, and an eagerness to explore life's infinite possibilities. You're becoming, not simply expanding. You'll find not just the solutions you've been seeking, but also a more profound sense of identity and purpose in this process of transformation. True spirituality seems unclear to you. So, what exactly is spirituality? Your question. Is faith in God involved? Immersing oneself in the Buddhist canon? Or maybe you'll decide to become a devoted yogi. You begin amassing memories and artifacts, such as a tarot card deck, crystals, and a smudge stick. You take in Alan Watts and other intellectuals, maybe even ponder a monastic lifestyle or become interested in Taoism. However, the more you look about, the more lost in uncertainty you may feel. It's like trying to identify the one dish at an unending buffet, and the spiritual teachings and practices are the other dishes. However, the more you sample, the less clear your hunger becomes. You might start to question whether or not this is actually happening. Do we really feel this way, or are we simply making it up? Here, have some solace. Confusion is an inevitable byproduct of travel. Same as uncertainty. You should not fear confusion. Consider it a friend. It demonstrates that you are not taking things at face value and are instead actively contemplating fundamental issues. When you're confused, it implies you're questioning the status quo, testing limits, and expanding your horizons. Yes, that may certainly cause confusion, but that's also where development actually takes place. The spiritual journey is unique for each individual. A lot of emotion is involved. What strikes a chord with one individual may not do so with another. Not a problem. The infinite ways in which human beings may find meaning in their lives by establishing a connection to a power beyond themselves is what makes spirituality so fascinating. Your journey need not resemble anyone else's in any way. And remember, just because you have a lot of doubts and uncertainties doesn't imply you're doing it wrong. It shows that you mean what you're doing. If you're feeling a bit perplexed, just take a deep breath and relax. Just keep in mind that you're experiencing normal growing pains. You're on a spiritual journey that includes every inquiry, doubt, and moment of bewilderment. All of these experiences are molding and honing you in preparation for the next level of your awakening. Friends leave you. The realization that not everyone you began your journey with would remain by your side is one of the journey's most melancholy moments. Once strong bonds between friends may begin to weaken. Formerly satisfying conversations now feel empty. You have an insatiable need for complexity, insight, and genuineness. While some of your pals are still preoccupied with rumors, their social standing, or their material possessions, it's possible to feel like you're communicating in a foreign tongue. While they are still using the same playbook, you have begun to question established standards and look for significance elsewhere. They may even begin to laugh at your spiritual interests, writing them off as a passing phase. And it may be especially painful when the individuals involved are those with whom you've shared so much of your life. But here's the bright side. Making way for the new usually necessitates letting go of the old. You don't stick with one shoe size for the rest of your life, do you? In the same vein, your spiritual development may necessitate a particular style of encouragement, company, and discourse. That's totally okay for me. Just because you had to part ways with a longtime buddy doesn't imply you're a failure or that your connection wasn't significant. It shows that you value your personal development. This is a very courageous act. Keep in mind that no connection is ever wasted. Not all relationships are created to stay forever. Some are only stepping stones or lessons along the way. Remembering the good times but also moving forward is okay. You imagine that you've made it big. The heady sense of accomplishment can be a spiritual trap in and of itself. When you reach the conclusion that you have everything figured out, you risk becoming stagnant. Concentrating on reaching a higher plane of existence through visions or other transcendental experiences might make you feel like you've arrived. You may say that I've woken up. I have reached enlightenment. I have glimpsed the fifth dimension. As for me, I'm finished. However, developing one's spirituality is an ongoing process. Believing that you've arrived might be a spiritual shortcut, a method to avoid dealing with the difficult challenges or work that lies ahead. Your newfound faith becomes a crutch, an excuse to avoid facing your shadow self or unsolved issues. However, genuine spirituality entails staring these realities in the face rather than avoiding them. If you don't know that enlightenment is already a part of you, how enlightened can you be? That remarkable visions or out-of-body experiences are not necessary to verify development. These are not the final objective, but they are important steps along the way. Don't be caught waiting at the vista point. Carry on your ascent to enlightenment. Once you believe you have completed your task, the real job begins. It requires constant introspection and the facing of one's shadows, the unseen, unsettling elements of oneself that one would prefer avoid facing, but which, in fact, contain the keys to one's greater knowledge. It entails making regular use of what you've learned spiritually, sticking to your beliefs even when they're challenging, and striving for harmony inside yourself at all times. There are always new depths to delve into and new insights to gain. When you reach a point when you believe you know everything, you inevitably stop learning. Keep the same openness and modesty that led you to seek out spirituality. Always be curious about new things, hungry for improvement and open to change. Every day is a chance to improve oneself via education, experience, and maturation. That is the glory of genuine spirituality. It presents boundless opportunities for growth, compelling you to venture into uncharted territories. You probably wish you'd never gotten here. There are moments when knowing something makes us wish we didn't. Let's pause for a bit, take a few deep breaths, and ground ourselves before continuing. Right now is all there is, and you have complete control over the next minute. Regret or disillusionment are normal and understandable reactions. Why did I choose this route that lead me to false prophets, mixed messages, the loss of loved ones, and isolation? Strange as it may seem, you deserve some praise. Why? Simply because you are inquiring. True spiritual development thrives on a diet of inquiry. A spiritual awakening isn't supposed to solve all your problems. The aim is to throw you off your game and get you thinking critically and asking difficult questions. It might be so devastating that you question everything, cry, and even consider turning back. You may long for the good old days, but ask yourself if you were truly happy back then, or if you were just able to relax. Indeed, a distinction exists. What you left behind may have been more comfortable, but what lies ahead may be a life worth living in its own right, one that has meaning, depth, and meaningful relationships. Being spiritual doesn't mean you never get lost or regret things. Humanity depends on it. The most respected religious figures have their share of self-doubt and disappointment. These are the times that really put you to the test, forcing you to draw upon your whole arsenal of spiritual resources. The adage says that if you want to go there, you have to get there. This is especially true at a period of personal growth and spiritual realization, a sense of entitlement. It's easy to feel that you're superior than other people after experiencing a profound spiritual awakening. It's like unearthing a priceless relic deep within your own being, and you can't help but feel like, wow, I really do have an advantage. you might begin to believe that it is your mission to guide and ultimately save humanity. In your mind, you're doing them a favor by nudging them toward their own personal epiphany. You can't, no matter how much you care, hasten another person's development. What other options do you have? Is it wise to keep this wealth of knowledge to yourself? In most cases, no. Try to see things from other people's perspectives rather than just dismissing them out of hand. Consider your interactions to be the preparation of a delicious feast. The fundamental element should be compassion. A little bit of knowledge goes a long way. Someone who is prepared and receptive will naturally want more. Doors can be unlocked by those who are kind and loving. People are more receptive to what you have to say when you show that you value and respect them. Do not try to shove your knowledge down their throats. You're providing them with a sanctuary, and that's sometimes all folks need to make some discoveries on their own. Be a source of love and kindness till then. Actions speak louder than words. Make yourself known. However, you shouldn't impose your knowledge on others, for the simple reason that it is not your sage advice that will endure. Is how you affected their emotions. That's the true present you can make for humanity. However, the positive aspects of a spiritual awakening should not be overlooked. The calm within you comes from within, and this tranquility is independent of any particular circumstance. It's the kind of calm that can only come from having your questions answered and your doubts allayed. You no longer need approval or completion from other people. Now you're whole. Furthermore, you have confirmation from within, which is a far more trustworthy resource. Let's have a chat about joy. Finding fulfillment in life is typically the impetus for beginning a quest for enlightenment. What we discover, however, is far more fulfilling than the joy we set out to find. Happiness is what we discover. In contrast to happiness, which can be transient and is generally tied to external factors, pleasure can be experienced independently of one's situation. Happiness stems from knowing one's actual nature, which is fostered by a spiritual awakening. You may decide to make drastic changes to your life and work after discovering who you really are. Things like wealth, status, and safety that had before been paramount became less significant. Now, you're motivated by a desire to make a difference and to lead a life that's about more than just you. And the most stunning part about you is undoubtedly your capacity to form meaningful relationships with other people. When you recognize the divine inside yourself, you may begin to recognize it in others. Compassion and empathy aren't merely abstract concepts. These ways of being begin to feel entirely normal to you. You realize that everyone is going through something difficult in their own lives. Wars you may not fully understand. You provide empathy rather than criticism. You choose love over apathy. You bring everyone around you up with you as you progress. It might happen in ways you don't even recognize. Your vitality, your insight, and your love become presence, not only to yourself, but to all those around you as well. You end up shining a bright light in a dark place. So indeed, achieving enlightenment is a convoluted, multi-step process with its fair share of challenges and rewards. Keep in mind that the thorns are what allow the rose to grow in peace and safety. If you made it this far, I appreciate you sticking around. Let me apologize if I have wasted your time.